Was it Fonzie that jumped the shark? That was,
Yep.
I don't
I've
even,
never seen
what is
Happy Days.
what is happening right
Oh, I
now?
actually know this. So Andy, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Happy Days?
Happy Days.
Well, yeah, I knew
And
who Fonzie was, but
Jump the Shark is
as opposed to
a
Fozzie.
oh, the Waka Waka. Uh,
Different
hey,
channel.
Waka Waka.
Yeah.
The I think Jump the Shark has become a common phrase for when you like you have a good thing and then you do something like super ridiculous and ruin it, right?
Oh,
That's my understanding as well. And it's been connected to TV shows usually and or movies or stories.
yeah.
So like you're going like, well, it's one of those times you sit there going, what? Like this is where we're at with this storyline. And it's
How
kind of
did
like,
we get here?
yeah. So
It's like it used to be so good. And then
yeah,
'cause I think Fonzie literally like takes a jet ski and jumps a shark.
it was, yeah, he was
I do not
skiing.
remember this episode.
He was skiing behind a boat on two skis, water skiing, and jumps the shark that was in the water.
And it was just like so outlandish. People were like, what has happened to Happy Days?
This is not
Okay.
Henry Winkler hitting a jukebox anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Hey.
Welcome to Learning Out Loud, where we get curious about all things teaching and learning. I'm Stefan, a regional technology coach, here with Andy, a regional math coordinator, and Cari, a regional science coordinator. We're just three educators on a mission to dig into what works, what doesn't, and what we're still figuring out. This podcast is for teachers, coaches, and leaders who want to grow in their professional practice. We don't have all the answers, but we're asking the questions and recording the process. Let's go to work.
Well, just so you know, even though this chart says whatever it says, I like hanging out with you guys. And hopefully you like hanging out with me.
There you go. Well, okay. Well, let's get into that. So here's what we're doing. We are just thinking briefly about part 3 in Jim Knight's high impact instruction. And it's all about community building. And so our plan is to do something similar to what we did in section 2, which is we're each going to take a chapter and then teach it to the other two. And we're going to bring in some other people as we do this, just for some more like diversity of voices, but kind of related. But just earlier we were talking about like some business chemistry stuff, which you can just Google business chemistry, and I think it's Deloitte. I think did they create it?
It must have. Business. Yeah. Are they like the solution tree to business?
They're a consulting firm. My sister-in-law works for them.
That's right. I knew that.
You're asking us what they are?
Yeah.
I don't know. She's crazy smart and very accomplished and very impressive. And so every time we talk to her, she's also just very down to earth. And so she doesn't talk about work a whole ton. And so like, what do you do? And she's told us, but I just remember
you don't pay attention enough and connect what she's saying.
I'm not detail oriented according to this thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So I just remember when we first did this with teaching and learning, when Ashley kind of walked us all through it. And I texted her because I saw Deloitte. I said, what is my boss making me do right now? And she goes, business chemistry. I love business chemistry. And so we were just talking about this a little bit earlier around just the way personalities and tendencies and preferences build a professional community, and being aware of those things and how we interact with each other. And like, I have a real blind spot. Well, here, it's okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But then it was either Cari or Andy suggested, well, we should just use this conversation as a preview for the type of stuff we're going to get into with this community building section. So what we all did is we all went and did their little hunch tool, which we can link in the show notes. And we just filled out the questions about ourselves so we could get some initial readings potentially on our traits and our like secondary traits. So let's all go around. Let's all go around and say what our primary and secondary traits were. and then we can talk about those things. And then Cari, right when we started, Cari's like, why do I even hang out with you two? And so then I think we should unpack that and then
I
preview
do
the
too.
session a little bit.
I like that idea.
So every time I've done this, and I've done it a lot, I come out as a pioneer driver. Pioneer driver. Andy?
I am also a pioneer driver, and I've done this my second time because I think that's what the same was. Does it always give you two though? Right? Is it, or can you? That's what I'm wondering. The last time I did it, because I'm pretty sure I was a pioneer driver, but same thing.
My guess, because it has this up here, like when you get it, and we're burying the lead here a little bit because I'm excited to hear what Cari came out as. This, when it gives you this response, your responses demonstrate traits of both the pioneer and the driver, which means your hunched individual us could be one or the other or both.
Gotcha.
And this is just like their free tool. I think there's like a more comprehensive, like you sit down, you probably get a primary and a secondary. Yeah. I've always told people that take the first one first. Like if it says pioneer driver as opposed to driver pioneer, take that first one. But really it's about like reading these things and self-reflection and how do they apply to your personality within groups.
Yeah.
All right, Cari, were you also a pioneer driver?
I am not a pioneer driver. I'm a guardian integrator. So guardian first, integrator second. And this is my second time doing the business chemistry questions. And this is what I was the first time too.
So
how long ago was it? A couple of years. So I haven't changed.
There you go. Same old Cari.
Same old Cari.
And so I think Cari said, because I know people can't see this chart, but if you just Google it, like you can find these pictures. Google Deloitte business chemistry traits circle. I'm sure that'll bring something up. It's got all these different words that describe each trait. And again, I think of this as like cold reading from like street magicians, right? Like I'm sensing an M and M and M and Andy's like, Meredith, that was my mother's name, And so like it's easy to see things that are this broad and general, and just like you can see yourself in these. And so every time I do this with teachers, I'm like, I mean, it's a medium for self-reflection. This does not define who you are, obviously, but it can also feel very good to be and validating. Like, oh, I am energetic and adaptable. And very typically we don't see the things that like apply to our personality traits as like negative. Like I might see novelty seeking and be like, yeah, I like new things. And Cari might look at that and go, the squirrel can never sit still and focus on one thing. And so he's always looking for the new thing. Right. And so like I have a tendency to look at these very positively, but typically what I'll tell teachers, or what I was told, is that you can work pretty well with your neighbors on this. So left to right, or like starting with pioneer at about the 11 o'clock spot on the clock and moving clockwise, pioneer, driver, guardian, integrator. So integrators across from driver and pioneers across from guardian. And typically those people have a hard time working together. And so Andy and I are on one side of this, on one hemisphere, and Cari's on the other.
And our primaries are directly across from each other. You guys are both primary pioneer and I'm primary guardian. And it says right there, probably least likely to be able to work together.
So my question is, well, I'm going to submit that we do work very well together.
I think we do.
Why?
Far as we know.
Right. That's a good point. Maybe people are listening to this and going, this toxic group that just bullies Cari into doing whatever the heck they want. They think they work well together. I was about to like some sort of intervention for poor Cari, who is who has admitted she has no boundaries.
We have feedback from a listener that said that they can tell that we enjoy each other.
There we go.
Good.
That's an outside person saying, I mean, either we're really good actors, and I would argue that I'm not a very good actor, or we're pushing back on Deloitte here.
Yeah. Like, I would agree with that. I like working with you both. Yeah. We get along. I think our energy is good. And so in the interest of community, in community building, we've got some like initial, like very different personalities. What do you think makes our community effective, fun, productive?
I think just the different perspectives that we bring. I think
Mm-hmm.
like before we started recording this, we're talking about TV shows and, whatever. Like we can just talk about whatever and make connections with each other around that stuff. You guys usually teach me some new things. Learned about jumping the shark today. Had no idea. Right?
I'll slice in that whole conversation here.
Yeah, Flanders, Simpsons, all the social stuff that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also making those connections to like this, like the idea of working in groups. Like this is that adult, maybe like teachers, like understanding these people are coming to whatever the meeting is with this lens of how they interact with each other. But I also keep thinking about Myers-Briggs personality. Did you guys ever do those? I remember doing those as a pre-service educator. I even think I had my kid, one of my first years teaching. I was like, let's have all the high school kids, knowing that it'll change. And it's kind of the personality types, but there's that connection too of where we get our energy and how we attack a problem, right? Or how we attack a situation. And I see like that's where this is kind of coming in. So like, even though we're on the other hemisphere, Stefan and I, to Cari, I think we have some other parts like the relationships and common experiences and things that I don't know if you're just listening to this that you can see or that you'll know, but there's definitely a process of a good filter that we all have a filter. Like, here's a great idea. And like, ooh, I don't know, or maybe not, or what do we need to have this accomplished? I think that kind of folds in heavier than these descriptions, perhaps, I guess, if that makes sense.
Would you say we have a learner-friendly culture that supports power with, not power over, in that sense?
Yes. Because as Andy was talking, I was thinking, well, we're complementary, I think, because we have a relationship. Because I could see myself, and I know this happens to me, where I can shut down in the presence of somebody that would probably likely test as a pioneer. But I know the two of you, and I know that you come with like kind hearts. So like when I'm in I need my questions answered. I need this to be more deliberate. I think you guys are understanding of that. You don't overpower me. And you allow me to push back and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like Andy let me shush him once on an airplane. So like, I think there's that we have relationship, because I know that in my own personal experience, when I've encountered people that likely are, like I said, pioneers, where I've just been like, whoa, I don't like this person, or I don't trust this person, and I'm just going to be quiet because I avoid conflict and I don't like risk taking.
Yeah.
So
I echo everything Cari that says there too. And that idea of like, I'm still looking at it as a lens of adults in the room, right? But then if I step out and say I am the adult, and then the other people are the students or children, and the impact on that, like you said, Stefan, like if I'm a driver as a teacher, right? And it says I'm on the screen right now. Stefan has a slide that has all four of the descriptors of pioneer, guardian, driver, interrogator. And it's like the idea of driver, direct in their approach to people and problems. So if I'm direct in my approach to teaching students a content area, then I think I lean on that power part. Like then maybe the power is mine, and that's not going to go very well if I have it in a classroom setting, perhaps. I don't know. That's where I'm trying to make those connections right now. So like in our group, I think like what you described, Stefan, exactly. Like we are giving each other a chance to share our business chemistry, but we have a professionalism that it's all in there that says, okay, no, this is a process. I'd be curious to see like how this affects with teachers, right? And that's where I think the the next section is going to talk about what are the impacts in my classroom, et cetera. So that's kind of where that's where my brain's going right now.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great way to look at it, because like there's like kind of twofold because a teacher, you've got a lot of different communities, but I think they're broken down into two main ones. You have your staff community, right? And you could even subgroup that into your PLC group community, your grade level community, But if you think of it on a broad scale, you have your community externally, teachers in the building or staff in the building, and then you have your community in the classroom, right? Your community, your students. And so where like just the other day or a couple of weeks ago, I guess, I was sitting there on the couch, and Anna and I play fantasy Big Brother during Big Brother season. I think I've told you guys about that. It's amazing, right? And I've got this big old spreadsheet, and we keep track of points, and it's I'll talk about it for hours at some point if you want. But it's this really like expansive spreadsheet we've built over the course of 5 years where we track points for different things as we watch the show. And it's a mess because I made it, but I know how it works. Well, one day Anna's taking the points as we watch, and she says, "This thing is so disorganized." I go, "I know, I need to fix it. I need to clean it up so it's a little bit more organized. It makes more sense." And she goes, "Well, I can just do it right now." And I want to preface this by saying Anna's better at spreadsheets than I am. She is more organized than I am, and she's more detail oriented than I am. I know all of these things, but my knee-jerk reaction was, no, don't touch it. Just let me do it. Not because I thought she was going to screw it up, but because I wanted to be the one to do it. And I can't justify that. I don't know why. And she said, "Oh my God, you're such a driver." And she doesn't put as much stock into these things as I do, but like she was kind of like jokingly, knowing that I had the same medium, saying like, it's not about whether or not you trust other people. You just want to be the one in charge in this sense. And because it was just crazy irrational. And so thinking about that same concept where like, if that's my personality, I need to be aware of that in my interactions with students and with teachers, but it's also important for other teachers in the community to know how other people in the system work. That way, when Stefan says something like, "No, don't do that, I'll do it." If I'm the type of person who's going to internalize that feedback and say, "Well, that's because they doubt my skills in this area." And like, what the heck, I'm perfectly competent. But as Stefan, I'm saying that, and it actually just means it has nothing to do with you. This is a Stefan problem. Stefan wants to take care of it. And so like as adults, I think we engage in that, but it gets much trickier when we talk about students. Cause I think of this all the time. I'm much more of a pioneer, big thinker, like big picture thinker, not super interested in the details, move fast, try things, fail, try again. That is not how every kid learns. And it's not the best environment for a classroom. And I need to be aware of how my personality is impacting the students in my classroom.
Awesome. That's well said, Seth. And I think that's like the shift right now. The idea of like in math, the new math way of teaching, right? Have you guys heard that? This new math. Okay.
You're going to quit saying it. It's not a thing.
It's new math 25 years ago.
People, there's new math.
I know that's what I'm saying. So this idea, that's what I'm saying. It's an idea out there, but if we anchor it into the classroom and say, okay, how are you engaging kids to make it a learner-friendly culture environment to learn whatever new math, old math, this math, that math. It's like a Dr. Seuss book, maybe.
Old math, new math,
old math, new math,
blue math.
Thank you. Right. And so like, I that's what I'm if we can kind of anchor, like push all the other noise off to the side. And like, I'm excited when you present your topic, I'm just looking through the chapters now, learner friendly culture. Okay. I'm excited about listening. What does that look like? Power with, not over. Not power over. So setting up like that teacher, that feels to me like that's a teacher directed, right? Like who has the power in the room, and the power of the room is greater than the power of one, maybe the thinking idea or the freedom within and expectations and witness the good, like positive comment, like making it an environment that kids want to be there. Right. So you're not going to get the feedback like when we're out this last fall of asking, listening tours or empathy interviews with
people out in this community and they're like, I just want to come here and not get yelled at. Like when kids say that, it's like, wow, like let's dig into that. And it might just be what they're thinking. It has nothing to do with the classroom or the person or just like, where are they at when their mindset? So really kind of focusing off like us as I'm a pioneer. What am I?
Pioneer driver.
I'm a pioneer driver, but also maybe focus on what are the kids coming in here and like knowing my own chemistry. How do I push that off to the side and go, this is us as a learning group and not individualized, that we have all these different people. So how is Cari hanging out with us? If that's the case, really? Yeah. What are the dynamics?
Myself now.
That's right. What are our dynamics?
Andy and Cari ask those questions in two very different ways. Cari's like, why am I here? I don't have to be here.
That's right. And maybe that's one of our, is that a driver or pioneer? Like, no, we're like going, what's working about our group that we could talk about to see if that had happened in classrooms,
you guys
right?
Just don't know this, but I just go take a nap after these podcast recordings. I'm just like
emotionally drained.
I need a break.
Okay. So that's good. No,
I think this will be a fun one.
I'm excited. So because I know you guys have to go here in just a second. So how about I'm going to give an overview of what we are thinking for this course, and then you guys correct me where I'm wrong and we can wrap up.
Awesome.
Okay. So the plan is to be talking about community building from a teacher and a student lens. We're going to go through all 6 chapters, which are titled in order: Learning Friendly Culture, Power With, Not Power Over, Freedom Within Form, Expectations, Witness to the Good, and Fluent Corrections. Like we did in the other course, we're each going to divvy up those chapters, and we'll teach the other 2. We're going to pull in some other voices. I think for the first or second episode, she doesn't know it yet, but we're going to pull on our boss, Ashley. She's there to support us. So I guess she doesn't have a choice. Haha, good luck, Ashley. And so we'll pull in some of the other teachers, members of the teaching and learning team, hopefully some teachers to bring in some classroom level experiences and ideas for this, just have a conversation. And we're really going to try to focus on some of that reflective questioning and modeling, like practical classroom application. And then we will be putting these things in the Canvas course, and people can be responding and sharing resources and getting clock hours for all of that. What did I miss?
That was good.
You nailed it.
All right.
Do we want anyone to interact with this? Like you said, should we have them as they log into this Canvas course or listen to do you want them to do this business chemistry activity to?
Sure.
That'd be kind of fun. Maybe.
I'm sure it will come back up at some point. We just kind of thought it was a good medium to start talking about it. And I will put the link to this hunch in the show notes. So you should just be able to pull up like when you click on the podcast episode, you should just be able to pull it up and you'll see a link there. And if you click on that, it's going to ask you, how well do you know this person? It's designed for you to be thinking about other people. That way you can know how you could be interacting with other people more effectively. Just put your own name there or a fake name and go ahead and fill that out in relation to you. That might provide some context as you go through. Oh, you know what we should do?
Uh-oh. Is this one of your
we should
ideas?
As opposed to like how we put the who are you, get to know you thing in, we'll make the hunch the first activity and people can post their primary and secondary traits and reflect on that a little bit. And that way we can start to develop our own Canvas community in that sense. And so maybe that'll be our first like task in the course. What do you think?
I love it. Some data collection.
There we go.
Collect some data. And then let us know, people out there, if we jump the shark in season 2.
There we go.
Because then we'll have to go back to the drawing board.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Thanks for learning with us today. If something we said sparked a thought, made you nod, or something Andy said made you roll your eyes, we'd love to hear about it. Share the episode, tag a colleague, send it to your PLC, or just keep the conversation going within your own team. You can connect with us via the feedback form in the show notes, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, feedback, and suggestions for topics to cover in future episodes. We're all growing together, and that starts with paying attention to our own practice.